strasznie mi tnie i przerywa mi strasznie transmisję. Potwornie. Słyszę cię na raty w ogóle.
Okay, are we good to start? I think everybody has been admitted now. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to the ones in Indonesia, and good morning to participants joining from Europe. My name is Jacek Kołomyjec, and I represent the Polish Investment and Trade Agency. And it is my great pleasure to be a speaker on today's webinar about the Polish food sector. I have a presentation for you, which will take approximately 15 minutes. And after that, we will have some movies about the Polish food sector. And then we'll be following a presentation from KOF, which stands for the National Council of Agriculture Support, which is another government agency from Poland participating in this exhibition. So just a few words of introduction about the agency that I represent. Polish Investment and Trade Agency is a Polish government agency under the Ministry of Development. We are quite a new organization, which has been active for only last 3 years, but very dynamic. So currently we operate 60 foreign trade offices all around the world. One of them is here in Jakarta, in Indonesia. In ASEAN, we are present in pretty much every bigger country. So we have an office in Malaysia, in Vietnam, in Singapore, of course, in the Philippines. The mission of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency is to support small and medium enterprises in their international expansion, in exporting their goods to the new markets, in investments, offshore investments, but also to help incoming investments and to develop international partnerships. A few words about Poland, a country situated in Central Europe with the capital in Warsaw. Poland is, well, in Indonesia, I think it's famous mostly because our flag is the opposite. So our flag is white and red. Indonesian flag is red and white. Also, people usually, when they hear Robert Lewandowski, they think about Poland, the football player. But it's not only him. There is also the first Indonesian football player ever playing in Europe, Egy Maulana Fikri. He plays in Poland, in Gdańsk. So these are the ties, but other than that, we are basically on a mission of building the brand made in Poland, in Indonesia, and also globally. But I'll tell you a bit more about that on the next slides. Poland has unprecedented growth, economic growth over the last 30 years. So now, of course, it's coronavirus, economic crisis. So it's very difficult to say which country will come out from the crisis in what condition. But Poland has been the only European country that had positive economic growth during the last crisis in 2008. So on average, we have been growing about 5%, which is quite similar to the growth of Indonesia. Poland is a very large internal market. We have approximately 38 million citizens in Poland. So, okay, comparing to Indonesia, it's even smaller than West Java province, but for European standards, it's a medium-sized country. We also have 16 cities with inhabitants exceeding 200,000 people. But again, please don't compare that to Indonesia, where in Jakarta metropolitan area, there is 30 million people. We have jumped in the ease of doing business ranking from around 70th position. So this is where Indonesia is now, to currently 33rd. So this is also some similar experiences that we have had and that we are sharing with our partners here in Indonesia. About the food processing, it's a very big industry in Poland. It creates 11.3% of Poland's GDP, and it's employing 400,000 people. So it's very significant industry. Poland is number 6 largest producer of food products in the European Union and one of the largest exporters. The export value is 27 billion euro. Thanks to our location in the Central Europe, but also access to natural resources, very good quality of food products that is unprocessed and free of chemicals. Most of the largest food producers globally have situated their factories in Poland. So we have all the big names: Unilever, Danone, Cargill, and also few Polish companies that are quite well known globally, and we could also say that they become international corporations. Some of them already doing business in Indonesia, and some of them present on the East Food virtual exhibition that this webinar is part of. Proceeding further, I would like to tell you a bit more from the European point of view about the trade structure between European Union and Indonesia. This is very important in terms of the SIPA negotiation. So SIPA is the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement that is being negotiated since 2016, and hopefully the negotiations will be completed next year. So the volume of exchange, volume of trade between European Union and Indonesia can increase, which is also very beneficial for Indonesia itself, which is in a big trade surplus. But coming back to food products, the global exports of goods to Indonesia have totaled 188 billion USD, which is almost 20% increase. And as you can see, the products that Indonesia imports from the European Union are mostly baby food, grains, flour, starch, and milk formulas, tobacco, butter, pet food, milk powder and whey powder, and other food preparations and other agricultural products. As for milk powder and whey powder, Poland has been granted country recognition to Indonesia, which is very challenging process and very complicated process. And currently there is 20 Polish dairy producers that have been approved to access the Indonesian market. When it comes to the trade structure between Poland and Indonesia, so Polish exports to Indonesia have risen by almost 50% in 2019, which are the highest levels in the history. But despite that fact, Poland is only in the fourth 10 of exporters to Indonesia. So even though we are one of the largest EU countries, our exports are smaller than Austria, Switzerland, Belgium, as well as some developing countries like Belarus, Sudan, or South Africa. So basically, there is a very big potential for mutually beneficial trade, provided there is, of course, right business matching. So Poland is very well known for its high quality food products, which are also produced in very competitive prices, right? So basically, this is the EU quality level with more competitive cost structure, so eventually with more competitive prices. Looking at Indonesian imports and the main categories that could be potential for Polish exporters, that would be sugar and confectionery, which totals to 2.1 billion USD. Secondly, that would be fruit and nuts. However, here Poland is still trying to open the market through the country recognition or laboratory recognition procedure. We are top 3 producers of apples globally, and our apples have already reached Southeast Asia. They're already available in Singapore, in Vietnam, to the great satisfaction of the local consumers. However, we are not yet allowed to export to Indonesia, which we hope might change soon. The next category would be dairy, eggs, and honey, with dairy products, Polish dairy products already very much present on the market. The next category is vegetables. However, here the country recognition or the laboratory recognition procedure restricts access to the market. Then it's fruit and fruit seeds, and the last category with potential for a trade is beverages and alcoholic beverages, where Poland has a very long tradition of producing alcoholic beverages of great quality. Now, what would have to take place to increase the trade relations between Poland and Indonesia? And for that, I mean also mutual relations. So Poland is, Indonesia again, is also in surplus, not with the European Union only, but also with Poland. So Indonesia exports to Poland more than it imports. So this information are also important not only for the Polish exporters, but mutually for the business partners. So this is based on our 3 years experience of the Jakarta Foreign Trade Office and interactions with the Polish and Indonesian businesses. So from the Polish side, what we have identified as important element of our strategy is to develop and execute a comprehensive long-term strategy integrating elements not only of business, but also of culture, science, sports, and tourism. So this is the great role of Polish government, Polish embassy, in Indonesia to also bring closer the culture of Poland, our achievements in sports, and also popularize Poland as a tourism destination. Secondly, we need to develop closer relations between government and also business people between Poland and Indonesia by intensifying the volume of business missions. Well, of course, 2020 has been quite difficult, but in the previous years, we have executed incoming missions where we covered the costs of Indonesian importers, but also Indonesian journalists to visit Poland and to see our beautiful country. And of course, what we need to do is to better promote the brand made in Poland. So there are certain values that come to the mind of Indonesian consumers when they see that a given product is made in Poland. From the Indonesian side, what we are hoping for is what I already mentioned, the swift completion of the EU-Indonesia Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which is projected that will increase the Indonesian gross domestic product by more than 2%. So just to let you know, the recently signed RCEP agreement, creating the largest free trade zone in the modern world, basically. So it's ASEAN plus Australia, China. It will only increase the Indonesian gross domestic product by 0.05%, whereas the EU-Indonesia CEPA will boost the gross domestic product by more than 2%. So this also shows how important is the level of trade and investment between European Union and Indonesia. Secondly is the implementation of Omnibus Law that has just been passed and is expected to simplify business and trade in Indonesia, especially when it comes to investments, incoming investments. And third would be the further focus on realization of the great infrastructure investments that have been started by President Jokowi and have greatly simplified the logistic processes, so the development of ports, of airports, of highways. This is a very positive thing and also a great stimulus for the economy. And the last thing is the recognition of halal. So we are looking forward for the G2G agreement that will basically allow for the recognition of the halal certificates that have been issued in Poland or in the European Union. So these are the key takeaways from the activity of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency in Indonesia, and the key suggestions that we have also implemented in our strategy. Now for the business people, and again, on both sides, of Polish exporters, but also Indonesian exporters, Indonesian importers, in our opinion, what would be the elements of successful business expansion would be as follows. So the product must be of very good marketing, must be modern product, compatible with the market, and of course in competitive prices. What I mean compatible with the market, so of course both Polish and Indonesian consumers have totally different flavors, right? When it comes to food, Indonesian people, well, they love spicy products, but try to give sambal to a Polish consumer of, they will scare them away. And for example, when it comes to drinks, Indonesian people like drinks with lower carbonation. The famous case of even Coca-Cola that has reduced carbonation to suit the Indonesian consumer. And generally products are sweeter, and as for now there is less concern for the, let's say, the health, the eco side, but this is very much changing. So the healthy products are becoming a growing niche, especially for the urban market, so the top cities. As for the exporter has to be determined. It's not easy to start export to either European Union or to Indonesia. It needs to develop very good relations. It requires physical presence, and it requires a very, very good relations. And only on that we can build business contacts, right? So Indonesian people, generally Asian people, are very much based on a relationship, right? So the European type of doing business, or maybe even more the American type of doing business, is I have this product, this is the price, would you like to buy it, right? But it not necessarily works like that in Indonesia. The culture is a very big element. And again, we try to educate Polish exporters that even if we say Indonesia, it's a great simplification, right? Because you might be dealing with Indonesian, but it might be someone from Java. Even Java has, Sundanese minority. It can be someone from Bali who looks at business differently. It can also be representative of the Indonesian Chinese minority that also approaches business differently. So that's what I mean, that the exporter has to be determined to understand the market, and also ready to invest in the market development, which is also a time and money consuming process to build the awareness of Indonesian consumers towards the product, and also compete efficiently and effectively, not only with the locally made products, but also with the other imported products. And the last thing, I think the most important, is the strategy, which must be dedicated, long-term, and as I mentioned, relations-based. So Indonesia is not really a country that business can be executed, let's say, by a chance or by a coincidence. It really requires a long-term, dedicated strategy, where it's also related to the market entry barriers. Sometimes BEPOM registration itself can take 3-6 months, even 1 year, right? The promotion activities, it also must be based on a choice. Would you like to be present on Bali, or would you like to be in Jakarta? Who's your target group, right? So the strategy is very important element. And as for the products that we see the best potential, this is also what I mentioned in the previous slide, the products that are actually a great part of Indonesian imports, and where Polish products could be much more competitive. So these are sweets and confectionery snacks, also fruits and meat products, but this is of course provided that we can open the market and complete the country recognition procedure. Next is dairy products and also baby food. Dairy products is already quite significant part of our trade, and Poland is one of the most competitive producers of dairy products. And then is the alcoholic beverages, which is a great niche in Indonesia, but also there is a very low variety of products. So this is also something where we see a good potential, but of course provided that all the elements are in place. So the product is good, the exporter is really dedicated to develop good relations with the business partner, and of course the activities are based on long-term strategy. So basically, this is all for the, I hope, practical information that I have prepared from you, taking advantage of the fact that we are present here in Indonesia. I have spent in the country around 10 years now. I have worked for the Polish Investment and Trade Agency for more than 2 years. So this presentation is a summary of our practical experiences in the country and some suggestions for the business people on both sides. The next presentation will be more detailed on the food industry. It will be delivered by the National Council of Agriculture Support, and in the time in between, we'll have some presentations, some movies about the Polish food sector. If there is any questions, I think I would be very happy to take them now. Otherwise, you are very much welcome to contact me by email, or also request a physical meeting in our Jakarta office. So if there is any questions, I would be very happy to answer them. Okay, so if there is no question, I would like to thank you very much for your time and wish you a pleasant afternoon and of course a great weekend ahead, and enjoy the rest of this webinar. Thank you very much. Krista Exhibitions, the host, can you please proceed with movies? Thank you.
Imagination. Everything you always wanted to know about Poland but were afraid to ask, or could not find the right source of information. Until now. Today we are proud to present you Poland, a country in the heart of Europe that moves your imagination. Poland is a fascinating country which surprises the majority of first-time visitors. Its geographical location and vibrant history made it a unique place where everyone finds their story. It is a dream destination for those who enjoy sightseeing and cultural events, as well as for those who prefer spending their time amongst the nature and taking advantage of its healing properties. Czech Republic and Germany. Poland has a population of 38.5 million. The majority of the population, 61%, live in urban areas. Everything you always wanted to know about Poland but were afraid to ask, or could not find the right source of information. Until now. Today we are proud to present you Poland, a country in the heart of Europe that moves your imagination. Poland is a fascinating country which surprises the majority of first-time visitors. Its geographical location and vibrant history made it a unique place where everyone finds their story. It is a dream destination for those who enjoy sightseeing and cultural events, as well as for those who prefer spending their time amongst the nature and taking advantage of its healing properties. Poland lies in Central Europe and borders with the Russian Federation, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Slovakia, Czech Republic and Germany. The total land area of Poland is 312,000 kilometers square, making it the 9th largest country in Europe. Poland has a population of 38.5 million. The majority of the population, 61%, live in urban areas. The official language is Polish. In the tourism industry, knowledge of English is common. The official currency in Poland is the Polish zloty, PLN. Poland yet is not in Eurozone, which actually makes us a relatively inexpensive country comparing to Western European countries. Poland is a democracy, with a president as a head of state whose current constitution dates from 1997. The government structure centers on the Council of Ministers, led by a Prime Minister. On the 1st of May 2004, Poland joined the European Union, and in 2007, the Schengen zone. Thus, traveling to Poland requires obtaining a Schengen visa. The Polish economy has come a long way since the fall of communism in 1989. Poland's sharp transition to a free market economy is one of the biggest success stories among the post-communist countries. The World Bank considers Poland to be one of the healthiest high-income economies of the region, and one of the fastest growing within the European Union. Poland was the only member of the European Union to avoid recession and have a positive GDP. It is a major recipient of direct foreign investment in Central Europe. Thanks to dynamic political and economic changes in recent years, Poland has taken a major leap forward in virtually every sphere of life, including tourism. After joining EU, Poland experienced a tremendous increase in the number of foreign visitors. Every year, Poland is visited by about 60 million travelers. Top tourist sites include major Polish cities like Warsaw, Kraków and Gdańsk, as well as UNESCO sites like Wieliczka salt mine or Malbork Castle. Kraków, the biggest pearl on the tourist map of not only Poland but also Europe, attracts every year 1 million travelers. Similarly, Wieliczka salt mine is visited by over 1 million tourists a year. Promoting Poland as an attractive tourist destination on foreign markets is the main goal of Polish Tourist Organization, a governmental body established in year 2000. For this reason, we cooperate with international tourist organizations and with institutions from other business areas. Currently, Polish Tourist Organization has 14 branch offices worldwide. There are 11 civilian airports in Poland, catering for domestic and international passenger flights. The largest and most important of these is the Warsaw Frederick Chopin Airport and Kraków Balice Airport. The other airports are located in Gdańsk, Katowice, Poznań, Wrocław, Szczecin, Łódź, Bydgoszcz, Zielona Góra and Rzeszów. The Warsaw Airport has over 80 regular connections to major cities in Poland, all European capitals and transfer hubs. Cities and most towns in Poland are well connected by rail. There are over 30 international train connections offered by the following services: Euronight, Eurocity, and regular international connections, daytime and nighttime. In the recent decade, the hotel infrastructure in Poland grew dramatically. Worldwide renowned top hotel chains are now present in all big and medium-sized Polish cities. The accommodation infrastructure is modern and offers competitive price-wise comparing to West European standards. One can choose from a wide range of accommodation types: a known chain hotel, a palace, castle or historical townhouse turned to a hotel, a boutique hotel, or an accommodation at a spa center. Poland has it all: sea, lakes, lowlands, hills and mountains, and vast forests. Polish landscape is very diversified. Along the Baltic coastline, the land is fairly flat with sand dunes, sandy beaches, Europe's largest shifting sand dunes, and the country's longest peninsula. North of the country also abounds in lakes. There are over 9,000 of them, mostly located in the region called the Land of the Great Masurian Lakes. Many of the lakes are connected by natural or artificial channels, and that forms the longest waterway in Europe. The central part of Poland is dominated by the lowlands. The southern part is formed by highlands and mountainous areas. There are 3 key mountain chains in Poland: the Carpathian, the Sudety, and the Świętokrzyskie Mountains. Poland's longest river is Vistula, with many inlets, and the second longest one is Oder River. Poland has 23 national parks, which are located in all of those regions. 8 of the national parks are also included on the UNESCO list of World Biosphere Reserve. One of them is the Białowieski National Park, the biggest primeval forest on the continent, which is the home of European bison and many other rare wild animals, as the so-called small Polish horse. Polish fauna and flora are extremely rich, and many endemic species can be found here. Poland enjoys a moderate climate. Due to climate changes all over the world, the climate has also been changing in Poland. There are 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, autumn and winter. Winters, which used to be very cold with a lot of snowfall, are now milder and warmer. Spring is a beautiful period when nature wakes up after the winter. The Polish summer is becoming more and more warm. The average temperature is about 20 Celsius degrees, although in recent years temperatures of 30 Celsius is quite common. Summer is followed by Polish golden autumn, with all leaves miraculously turning yellow and red. The best time to visit Poland is from May, late spring, through summer, June, July, August, to September, early autumn. The most attractive Polish cities preserving rich cultural heritage, they all have a fascinating history, diverse architectural styles and many worth a visit attractions. Poland has 13 UNESCO sites, some of which are whole city complexes, as the old towns of Warsaw, Kraków, Toruń and Zamość. It is a country where no matter where you go, you will find castles, palaces and towns with charming historical city centers. Warsaw, the capital of Poland, is the biggest Polish city populated by 1.7 million inhabitants. It is the main political, cultural, educational, financial and business center of the country. It is a city full of extremes, of old historic buildings and new modern skyscrapers designed by world-renowned architects. Looking at the city, it is hard to believe that it was almost razed to the ground during the Second World War. The post-war reconstruction of the old town, unprecedented on a European scale, gained the appreciation as UNESCO heritage. Warsaw's most beautiful historic buildings lie along the historical Royal Route. The Old Town Square with line of the colored townhouses surrounded by defensive walls, the spires of the churches and Royal Castle. Further on are Łazienki Park and Wilanów Palace, summer royal residences of Polish kings. The socialist realist architecture of the communist era may also be an attraction. The most famous example is the Palace of Culture and Science, built in the 1950s according to a Soviet design, still the highest building in the country and the sixth highest in Europe. Warsaw is also the greenest capital in Europe. Its parks area constitute 23% of the total city's area. Kraków is the major tourist spot in Poland. This 1,000-year-old city is Poland's former capital, former seat of Polish kings, a city of over 1,000 years of mighty history. The entire medieval layout of the Kraków Old Town, which is a UNESCO site, has been preserved. The city is famous for its royal Wawel Hill, with the castle and cathedral, both excellent examples of Renaissance architecture. Other key sites are located in the Market Square, the largest medieval square in Europe. It is surrounded by historic townhouses, St. Mary's Church with a masterpiece altar, the largest brick church in the world, and with the Cloth Hall in the center. The Cloth Hall is often called the first European shopping center, as centuries ago merchants from the Middle East and even Far East met with the local merchants, exchanging their valuable goods. A tourist attraction open for visitors is also the 14th century building of the Jagiellonian University, the second oldest university in Central Europe. Not far from Kraków, deep underground lies the Wieliczka salt mine, a true miracle of nature, with underground passages, chapels, chambers used for conventions, and even an underground respiratory system rehabilitation center, all carved out from salt rock. Another attractive location near Kraków is the town of Zakopane, called the winter capital of Poland. It lies in Tatra Mountains, highest range between Alps and Caucasus, surrounded by rocky peaks and natural greenery. Actually, it is equally popular to visit Zakopane in the summer season. The inhabitants preserved their distinctive culture, local costume, music and cuisine, so much appreciated by visitors. Zakopane has also its own charming wooden architecture. It is a magical place. The city of Gdańsk is located on the Baltic Sea's Bay of Gdańsk. Its old town is one of the most valuable in Poland. In the past, Gdańsk used to belong to Hansa League, uniting most rich and powerful Baltic ports of medieval Europe. Its former wealth can be seen today in the elegant architecture of the city, the ornaments on the facades of Gothic merchant houses, beautiful interiors of the old town hall, St. Mary's Basilica, which is the tallest brick church in the world. The symbol of the old times trade is a medieval crane built in the 15th century, used for grain transportation. Gdańsk was, and still is, one of the most important art and jewelry centers in the Baltic coast. The city is full of artistic jewelry shops which use amber, called the Polish gold, small galleries and antique shops. It is a good idea to visit Gdańsk during the Dominican Fair, the oldest fair in Europe, being organized here every August since 1260. In the 20th century, Gdańsk became famous as the birthplace of Solidarity trade union, which led Poland and consequently the whole Central Europe to the fall of communist regime. Gdańsk, together with Gdynia and Sopot, forms an area known as Tri-City. Each of the three towns has a distinct ambience and character. Gdynia being the most modern port of Europe and Sopot the most posh and luxury seaside resort of Poland, with many villas and cozy hotels located amongst lots of greenery. In the vicinity of Gdańsk lies the impressive Teutonic fortress of Malbork, the biggest brick medieval castle in Europe, a UNESCO site. The city of Toruń is mainly known as the birthplace of the famous Polish astronomer Nicholas Copernicus, whose house is turned to a museum. Toruń has a beautiful Gothic architecture and its old town is a UNESCO site. It is also where the famous Polish gingerbread is being produced. Tourists are welcome to visit the factory. Poznań is a historical city with a beautiful Gothic old town. Its cathedral houses the tombs of the first Polish ruler and the first Polish king. Today it is a modern business city which hosts one of the biggest trade shows in Central Europe, the Poznań International Fair, organized since 1921. On its fairgrounds, other 80 trade shows for over 100 sectors of economy are organized every year, attracting 360,000 visitors and more than 13,000 exhibitors. Wrocław is an elegant city with breathtaking old town, with many splendid monuments as the old city hall and fairy tale-like historical townhouses. Its monument from the modernist times, the Continental Hall, has been inscribed on the UNESCO list. The city is called Venice of the North, thanks to the 100 bridges over rivers and channels which cross the city. Wrocław is very attractive in culture, so no wonder it's been chosen to be the European Capital of Culture in year 2016. Poland is a paradise for travelers interested in culture. The list of various cultural festivals, music competitions, theatre workshops, fairs, outdoor events is endless. Many of them have an international character and are famous worldwide. Being a modern and cosmopolitan country, Poland offers a wide range of restaurants of world cuisines, trendy pubs and plenty of large-size shopping centers, housing hundreds of renowned brands, chain stores and boutiques each, as well as entertainment areas. Poland is also a spa and medical tourism destination. This is one of the priority branded products of the Polish Tourist Organization, aimed at foreign and domestic markets. Poland has over 200 spa resorts, located in over 40 municipalities. One can choose from luxurious resorts or smaller spa centers, venues located near big cities or in the middle of nature, far from the crowds. Polish spa resorts take advantage of various kinds of mineral waters and mud available in Poland, which is used for relaxation and for healing with the help of modern equipment. Poland has also great potential in medical tourism. Polish clinics and doctors are prepared to provide the highest quality services for much cheaper prices than in Western European countries. The biggest interest attracts plastic surgery, cardiology and dentistry. If your visit to Poland is not strictly for tourist purposes but business, you can be sure that in Poland you will have access to the latest high-tech facilities for attractive prices and will be surrounded by an ambience of traditional Polish hospitality. The range of venues available for organizing business events is exceptionally wide. In addition to congress centers, such prestigious and elegant interiors as castles, palaces, theaters, museums, and galleries are available, and such unique venues as mines with conference space a few hundred meters below the surface. The diversity of Polish landscapes gives an unlimited number of ways for staging and incentive travel program. Lakes, swamps, rivers, primeval forests, shifting dunes, various types of mountain ranges guarantee the right dose of adventure, adrenaline and splendid views. Routine is simply not in our dictionary. Poland is a relatively new destination in the minds of foreign travelers. A vast majority of them is impressed by the charm of Polish cities, the high-class facilities, the wide offer of cultural activities, the vast choice of venues for shopping, dining, entertainment and spa, the untouched nature, and finally, by the hospitality of the people. We invite you to experience it yourself.
Magda, słyszysz mnie?
Ale nie mogę prezentacji. Sorry, I cannot upload my presentation. Okay, it's working. Can you see it? Sorry.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Good afternoon.
Everything is okay, Magda.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great pleasure to participate at today's webinar. But first of all, to participate with our 12 Polish food companies at East Food Indonesia Virtual Expo. My name is Magdalena Rowińska, and I represent the National Support Center for Agriculture, which is a state institution and supervised by the Polish Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. One of our main activities is to support Polish companies to enter foreign markets with their export offer, as well as to increase the competitiveness of Polish products abroad. We achieve this goal through many promotional and information activities run under the Poland Tastes Good slogan. We organize market seminars, we participate at international food fairs, as well as we organize the outgoing and incoming trade missions and study visits. The situation related to the coronavirus pandemic forced us to adapt our pro-export activities to new reality. Because although there are many restrictions, we do not want to reduce our presence at foreign markets. This is why we use ICT tools to continue our mission. We organize webinars with Polish and foreign experts. We participate at international food fairs, which are organized in online or hybrid form. We also create the virtual business platforms to facilitate the communication between interested parties, between Polish exporters and foreign importers and distributors. Here you can see some key facts about Poland. Poland is one of the biggest EU member states, is also the 6th most populated country. We are on the 2nd position in terms of number of agricultural holdings and on 3rd position in number of people living in rural areas. We are the 6th food producer and we have over 16,000 companies employing more than 10 persons in the Polish food sector. Now I would like to briefly present you a Polish agri-food sector, which is a key and dynamically developing branch in the Polish economy, generating significant export revenues every year. We observe nowadays that consumers' productions grows. Consumers are increasingly choosing high quality, safe, healthy, nutrition-rich, and low processed products. And Polish products have all these properties. First of all, because we have one of the most modern machinery park in Europe. And second of all, because in our food production and processing, we apply the highest national and European standards. Apart from this, we care about culinary traditions for which Polish cuisine is famous, and the unique taste of our products. Since Poland's accession to the European Union, since 2004, Polish agri-food export has been reaching a new record value every year. Last year, we exported products for almost 32 billion euros. Our main partners were the European Union countries, and among third countries markets, we find our main importers are Ukraine, Russia, United States of America, Saudi Arabia, Belarus, Israel, and China. Our export hits consist of live animals, meat and products, grains and cereal products, tobacco and products, sugar and confectionery, including sweet and chocolate, dairy products, fish and products, as well as fresh and frozen fruit and vegetables. Meat sector is one of the most important branch in the Polish agri-food industry, and it plays a crucial role in its development. Polish meat sector is also one of the fastest growing meat sector in the European Union. We are also the third EU employer in terms of the employees who work in the meat production industry. We are the first producer and first exporter of poultry in the European Union. And poultry is not limited to chickens. We are a great producer and a great exporter of ducks, of geese and turkeys. We are also the seventh producer of eggs in the European Union and the third global producer and exporter of feathers and down. Our poultry meat exports goes mainly to the European Union countries, and among third countries, Ukraine, South Africa, Hong Kong, Ghana, and Cuba are our main importers. Poland is also the seventh producer of beef and the fifth exporter of this product. The Polish beef is highly appreciated by foreign consumers, since 84% of our production is exported. Is exported, as you can see, mainly to the European Union countries, and unfortunately only 9% is exported to the third countries market. And our main importer in this category is Israel. Dairy sector is another very important sector in the Polish agri-food industries. Dairy sector has been on a rise since 90s and has skyrocketed since Poland's accession to the European Union as a result of farms being renovated and dairy industries being upgraded thanks to the European Union funds. Nowadays, we are one of the most modern dairy industries in the European Union. We are a top producer of skimmed milk powder, butter, cheeses and curds, as well as drinking milk, buttermilk, cream for direct consumption, acidified milk, and other fresh dairy products. As you can see on this slide, our export is not limited to 1, 2, or 3 products. The export offer is quite various. We export mainly cheeses and curds, liquid milk and cream, condensed and powder milk, butter and milk fat, whey ice cream, yogurt and fermented drinks, as well as casein. China is the biggest importer of Polish dairy products among third countries. Poland is also a very important player on the market of fresh fruit and vegetables. We are the third producer and 9th exporter of fresh fruit in the European Union. We are a leading producer of apples and of some soft fruit like sour cherries, currants, raspberries, chocoberries, and blueberries. As I said, we are the first producer in the EU and the third global producer of apples. Polish apple orchards offer a wide varieties of apples, mainly Idaret, Champion, Jona Gold, Legal, Gloucester, Golden Delicious, Gala, and Cortland. And these varieties constituted 70% of apples harvested in Poland in 2019. We export mainly apples and apple juice. Poland is also a leading producer and exporter of concentrated apple juice. When it comes to the commodity structure of fruit preparations, it is dominated by frozen fruit. On the second position, we find canned fruit and nut products. It is followed by jam, marmalade, puree, and dried fruit. Russia and Belarus are the main importers of fruit preparations among third countries' markets. Poland is also the fourth producer and sixth exporter of fresh vegetables. We are the leader in the production of cabbages, and we are among top producer of champignon, of potatoes and carrots in the European Union. Grain and cereals are another very important market in the Polish agri-food industry. Wheat is the most popular grain in Poland, and wheat flour is one of dominant Polish export commodities in the grain sector. Polish producers offer grains of multiple species and varieties of cereal, which are very fertile and resilient to low temperatures and diseases. Our export goes in this category goes mainly to the European Union countries, and once again Russia is a top importer of our products, followed by Senegal, Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, and United States of America. We say that Poland is a paradise for lovers of confectionery and chocolate. We are the sixth producer and the fifth exporter of these products in the European Union. The market is developing dynamically, mainly thanks to the export, which is the engine of this development. For several years now, chocolate and confectionery have ranked first among Polish export commodities of highly processed agri-food products. And as you can see, products containing cocoa constitute 81% of our export commodity structure. Russian and Americans consumers are the biggest gourmet of our confectionery products among third countries markets. When it comes to the agri-food relations between Poland and Indonesia, we have recorded a positive balance in our export in this agri-food relations in recent years. Last year we exported products for an amount of 34.6 million euros. At the same time, import amounted to 17.6 million euros. Milk products, mainly milk and sour for direct consumption as well as whey, constituted 65% of our export. On the second position, we find grain milk products, mainly malt extract, flour products, and preparations for infant use. It was followed by tobacco products, potato starch, fodder products, and other agri-food products. The import from Indonesia to Poland, according to the country of dispatch, was not dominated by any products. However, it's worth mentioning that we recorded a big increase in the import of fodder products. The increase was by more than 600% in comparison to the previous year, in comparison to 2018. Thank you very much for the attention. If you have any questions or if you are looking for business opportunities with Polish agri-food companies, please do not hesitate to contact me at this email address. Thank you very much.